Good evening. Please welcome to the podium ATHENA Akron Board President, Shirley Smith.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in with us this evening for such a celebratory occasion. I am Shirley Smith, President of ATHENA Akron Board of Directors. On behalf of our board and members, welcome to the 2020 ATHENA Leadership Awards. Please enjoy your dinner as we begin our program. We are so very pleased to be able to join together virtually this evening to celebrate women leaders. ATHENA Akron is an independent 501c3 nonprofit organization that was established on January 5th, 2015. Our mission is threefold. We connect established women leaders, provide access to established women leaders, and offer leadership development and education. Tonight, we bestow the ATHENA Leadership and Young Professional Women Leadership Awards to 8 amazing women, and we are excited that all of you are here to witness and celebrate with us. But before we get started, it is important for us to thank those who were instrumental in making tonight a great success. This event was made possible through the generosity of our sponsors. Thank you to Akron Children's Hospital, Akron Community Foundation, First Energy, Focal Point Marketing, GAR Foundation, Gojo Industries, the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, the Huntington National Bank, Key Bank, the Lefton Group, Metis Construction Services, Diane Newman, the Palumbo Law Office, Eileen Shapiro, County Executive, Department of Job and Family Services, Sikich LLP, State and Federal Communications, Synthomer Foundation, the University of Akron, Wells Fargo Advisors, Zaharansky Wealth Management, and Zuckerman Consulting Group. We appreciate and value your support. At this time, I would also like to acknowledge and bring to the podium our very first woman county executive, Eileen Shapiro.
Good evening. I am so happy to be here with you tonight as we all celebrate some amazing women in our community. In recognition of their exceptional contributions, commitment, service, and leadership that have improved the quality of life for so many others in Summit County. I am so proud to present each recipient and finalist with a Certificate of Achievement. Jolene, Donna, Christine, Sandra, Annalisa, Alicia, Maureen, Cristina, and Nicole. You are each distinguished in your own right. Thank you for all that you have done and that you will continue to do. You are truly making Summit County a better place for all people.
Thank you, Eileen. We are so fortunate as a community to have wonderful individuals who are always willing to step up and lend a hand to help when needed. And tonight, we are honored and excited to have Traci Buckner here with us to serve as our Mistress of Ceremonies for the evening. Traci's extensive career and service in this community sheds a bright light on why she was one of the 2019 ATHENA Award recipients. She is the first executive director of the Akron's Children's Museum, where she leads the way in fulfilling their mission of providing a vibrant, interactive space for children to learn through play. She is an author and entrepreneur, worked in philanthropy, and was a middle school principal for nearly 20 years. Whereas children and families remain a top priority for Traci, she also finds the time to empower and mentor women. She has held workshops and speaking engagements to assist them in achieving their full leadership potential. She and her husband, Tobin, have 2 talented teenage sons and a new puppy who keeps them very busy. We are so pleased that Traci is with us during this awesome occasion. Thank you and welcome, Traci.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Shirley, and Athena for inviting me to serve as your Mistress of Ceremonies. ATHENA Akron is vital to leveraging the talent of women leaders across our community. It is truly a pleasure to be here with all of you this evening as we recognize and congratulate some of Akron's finest women leaders. But before we get started, I'd like to first acknowledge our public officials and those recently elected or re-elected for office who are watching with us this evening. We invite each of you to greet the audience this evening by entering your name in the chat room along with your title. Thank you for being here today with us, virtually, as it must be, and for being great stewards in our community. The ATHENA Leadership Award was inspired by the goddess of Greek mythology known for her strength and courage, wisdom, and enlightenment, qualities embodied in the ATHENA leadership model. The award is unique in both scope, local, national, and international, and the ATHENA mission upon which it is based. The ATHENA Leadership Award is presented to a woman or a man who is honored for professional excellence, community service, and for actively assisting women in their attainment of professional excellence and leadership skills. Since the program's inception in 1982, more than 8,000 exemplary leaders in over 500 communities have received the prestigious ATHENA Award in the United States, Bermuda, Canada, China, Greece, India, Russia, the United Arab Emirates, and the United Kingdom. The ATHENA Leadership Award program seeks to inspire others to achieve excellence in their professional and personal lives. ATHENA Leadership Award recipients are individuals who have achieved the highest level of professional excellence, contribute time and energy to improve the quality of life for others in the community, actively assist others, particularly women, in realizing their full leadership potential. Now, it's time to meet the 2020 ATHENA Leadership Award recipients and finalists. We will begin the presentation with the ATHENA Young Professional Leadership Awards. Please join me in welcoming Erin Victor, the recipient of this award last year, who will make the presentation.
Thank you, Traci, and good evening, everyone. I'm so honored to participate in tonight's recognition and can certainly remember how exciting it was to receive the award last year. So congratulations to all of tonight's honorees. There are 3 finalists and 1 recipient in the ATHENA Young Professionals Leadership category. And I will begin by recognizing Maureen Aebi.
My name is Maureen Aebi. I'm a senior tax manager at Sikich. I try to handle the distractions that could prevent me from doing my work or meeting my goals by just trying to be my best self. When possible, I plan for distractions and I try to break my goals into smaller pieces to make them seem more manageable. When I start to feel myself getting overwhelmed, I try to take a break. I work with some really great people at Sikich and I feel like I have a lot of advocates on my side. But a time where I felt I advocated for myself would have been a while back. I attended a training where I learned about a newer tax planning idea that I thought our clients could really benefit from. I spoke up and I brought it up to people at work. We talked to our clients, and based on the presentation and our advice, I ended up implementing it. And since then, I've helped others internally as well as speak to their clients about this idea. There's more than one path, and it's okay to have different goals. I think a good leader recognizes that and tries to leverage the strengths and different ways that people do things. Trying to compare yourself to others is just going to lead to stress and unhappiness and probably slow you down.
Our first finalist, Maureen Aebi, is an established tax manager with Sikich LLP who demonstrates immense leadership qualities in her profession. She takes pride in her work and commits time and energy to staying up to date on changing legislation and matters concerning her clients. Maureen is in several leadership organizations such as Torchbearers, the Commercial Real Estate Women's Network, the Women in Business Roundtables at the University of Akron, and Dining for Women, just to name a few. Maureen is viewed as a role model by a number of her younger women colleagues and is known for devoting her full energy and enthusiasm to everything she does. Please join us in congratulating Maureen Aebi. Our second finalist is Dr. Cristina Gonzalez Acala.
Cristina Gonzalez Acala, Akron Community Foundation. As soon as I landed at Akron Community Foundation, I found myself with this new persona of having a little bit of that backup behind me, of that foundation, that I was now able to say things that before was like, oh, this kid's just, kid from a nonprofit, she's just a young professional is coming out, big mouth. Now I can actually take a step back, listen to things that are being said, and actually say the things that I'm thinking. It is my duty to speak up because nobody has a Mexican LGBTQ women experience like I do, right? And I need to share that with everybody in a way that's sensible to anybody that's willing to listen. I always just come from a place of, let's, try to understand me, I'll try to understand you. So to me, it has been imperative since the moment I stepped into the foundation, and even before then in nonprofit boards, to just say what you're thinking because it needs to be heard.
Dr. Cristina Gonzalez Acala, a Mexican native, is the Community Investment Officer at the Akron Community Foundation. She came to the U.S. to play golf for the University of Louisville. She arrived in Akron as the graduate assistant coach for women's golf at the University of Akron. After a year of coaching, she continued her graduate studies while conducting research. She earned 2 masters and a doctorate in urban studies and public affairs. Cristina is passionate about her Mexican heritage, which is why she and her wife started a small business to sell Mexican hot sauce. She currently serves on boards and committees for the Akron Civic Theater, WKSU, and Hattie Larlam. Young women need to see confidence, leadership, and accomplishment in order to envision themselves with these qualities. Cristina embodies these qualities with her professional work, love for her family, and investment in her community. Please join us in congratulating Dr. Cristina Gonzalez Acala. Our third finalist is Nicole Mullet.
Hi, I'm Nicole Mullet, and I serve as Executive Director of Arts Now. I remember hearing a story about a basketball player in the final moments, if the pressure is on, that they want to be the one who has the ball. And at that time I was younger, and I remember thinking, I would not want that ball. I don't want the ball. Someone else should take the ball. And partly that's because I'm terrible at sports, but I think also it was at that stage I wasn't ready to assert myself into a position of leadership. And what's been interesting is as I get older and I carry on through my career, I want that ball. I want to be the one to be able to advance it, and I want the success or the failure to kind of fall on me, and to be able to celebrate with the team, but to be able to kind of own where I messed up. And I think that confidence in your leadership comes as you go along.
As the first executive director of Arts Now, Nicole has built a thriving organization that supports and enlivens the arts sector, pulling together a variety of stakeholders and providing value to advancing artists. She also developed and launched SummitLive365.com, a clearinghouse of arts and culture opportunities. Through her genuine desire to help and her astounding work ethic, Nicole has reshaped the arts and culture sector in Greater Akron. Nicole is a graduate of Leadership Akron Class 34 and is a proud alumna of the Torchbearers, where she served as a member, committee chair, and board member, and also was our president. Nicole nurtures and acts as a mentor to women in nonprofit fields and is a member of numerous community organizations. She is a role model to many. Please join us in congratulating Nicole Mullet. Now it gives me great pleasure to present to you the 2020 Athena Young Professional Leadership Award recipient, Alicia Robinson.
My name is Alicia Robinson. I am the founder and executive director of Limitless Ambition. I always had a dream to create something to empower the next generation of young girls. So I just went out on a limb and I followed my heart and I started Limitless Ambition. When I think about self-care or self-compassion, I don't think about it as one thing you do every once in a while. I think of it as a series of things that you do every single day. I'm also a woman of balance. So I create time not only to get all my work done, but to really spend time with my friends and my family, to just have fun. I even schedule, Netflix binge time. I think it's just important to just be well-rounded and balanced and just really create time to recharge yourself, refuel yourself, and to do things that truly bring you joy. I empower myself to continue to commit to constant growth, constant progression. So even once I reach a goal, I celebrate that accomplishment and I think what's next. So how I've embraced being uncomfortable as a leader is just really granting myself grace, realizing that mistakes happen, realizing that this is a marathon and not a sprint, and just truly embracing the journeys, embracing the ups and the downs, the ebbs and the flows. And just being committed to just this beautiful journey of life and understanding that there are peaks and there's valleys and there's mountains and you win some and you lose some. And it's really just being comfortable with the overall thought of just purpose and growth. The one thing that COVID-19 taught me is that change is inevitable. You can make as many plans as you want, but you have to be able to adapt and you have to be able to be flexible. So when COVID-19 hit, of course, my nonprofit, we do team programs in schools. And so now that we're not in schools and the children aren't in schools, how are we gonna reach young girls? How are we gonna continue to empower them? When I think about success, an equation comes to mind. So I think risk plus endurance plus work ethic equals success. So I think it's hard to achieve success without taking some risk and really putting yourself out there. If success was easy, everybody would be doing it. And I think that risk is just something that you have to take on your journey to success.
As founder of Limitless Ambition, Alicia designed a curriculum to help young women develop their visions and overcome boundaries. To help them pursue their dreams, she created a dream kit, which is a book bag with supplies that empowers and encourages, and she distributes them to the girls in foster care. Alicia demonstrates excellence, creativity, and initiative in her new role at Case Western Reserve University as the Associate Director for Research and Evaluation for the Flora Stone Mather Center for Women. She is highly involved in her community through organizations including Akron Urban League, Torchbearers, and the Women's Network Leadership Council. In her most recent role before joining the Case Western University team, Alicia was the Assistant Director for the Women's Center, where she oversaw the development of Where Do Black Women Go?, an initiative at Kent State that focuses on Black women's health, retention, and development. Alicia also developed and co-chaired the Women of Color Collective, which is the first employee resource group for faculty and staff of color at the Kent State University. This organization fosters professional development, mental wellness, networking, and personal growth for women of color. Alicia's commitment to those in her community helps those around her reach their full potential. Please join me in congratulating Alicia Robinson.
I would like to thank Athena for this amazing award. It is my life's mission to empower young women to dream and achieve the goals and the life that they want to live. I had the amazing opportunity to do that through my work at Kent State University at the Women's Center, and now I can continue that work through the Center for Women at Case Western Reserve University. And then of course, I live that mission day in and day out through Limitless Ambition. Our goal at Limitless Ambition is to empower young women to dream without limits. We do that through teen enrichment program, women empowerment events, and by donating care packages to young girls in foster care. I do not do that work alone. I would also like to thank my board of directors who continue to lead and to provide the oversight we need to be an amazing organization. I would also like to thank my volunteer team, my social media specialists, our program facilitators, and then just anybody and everybody who's ever donated to the mission of Limitless Ambition. I just would like to thank Athena once again and just thank you so much.
Congratulations, ladies. Now, allow me to invite our county executive, Eileen Shapiro, back to introduce our keynote speaker for the evening, Dr. Para Jones.
So any of you that have ever heard me talk about Para Jones, you've heard me say she is rock solid. It has been my honor to have worked and gotten to know this amazing woman for over a decade. She leads Stark State with integrity, passion, and a laser focus on its mission, which is driven by her belief that students are best served by affordable, quality education that leads to rewarding careers. Dr. Jones spent 22 years at Stark State, including several years as vice president, overseeing donor relations, marketing and communications, grants administration, and student services. She was drawn away from Stark State for a period of time to fulfill the presidency of Spartanburg Community College in South Carolina. With her energy, vision, and grit, she expanded enrollment and outreach, opened a new campus, added new academic programs, and spearheaded the planning and fundraising for a new downtown campus in the heart of Spartanburg. Upon her return to our community in 2012, she became Stark State's 4th president. Para received the 2013 Greater Stark County Athena Leadership Award, honoring her for her professional excellence, community service, and for actively assisting women and men in their attainment of professional excellence and leadership skills. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure, my honor, to welcome and introduce my friend and colleague, the incredible Dr. Para Jones, who will bring you our keynote address.
Thank you, Eileen, for that gracious introduction. I'm honored to be the 2020 ATHENA Leadership Award Program keynote speaker, and I'm also honored to be introduced by County Executive Eileen Shapiro. I think we're all still celebrating the fact that Eileen was recently and resoundingly reelected to her leadership position by the smart voters of Summit County. Eileen is both a friend and a mentor, and honestly, she illustrates and symbolizes principles of Athena. I met her when she was VP at Summa Health Foundation, and I was VP at Stark State College. At the time, our college was pursuing a multi-million-dollar federal grant to expand capacity in our health programs so that we could meet the needs of health employers in the region. Eileen's support was immediate, warm, and impactful. We received the grants, and the results have been transformational for students, healthcare employers, and the community. Eileen and I reconnected in 2012 when I returned to Northeast Ohio as president of Stark State. We both attended a community event where then University of Akron president Luis Proenza introduced me to the audience and graciously invited me to say a few words. Eileen, who was somewhere in the large crowd, moved into the first row where her ready smile and twinkling eyes conveyed the warmth that so many of us know comes very readily from our county executive. After the event, we talked, and Eileen asked how she could help me in my new leadership role. That began a professional and personal relationship that has benefited students, employers, and the community, and that I value beyond words. Eileen was instrumental in the opening of Stark State College, Akron. She helped us make our new commercial driver's license CDL program possible right here in Summit County. And she didn't do that just by supporting. She also challenged, asked questions, and continued to challenge, again, the principles of Athena. Of course, that's a fraction of what County Executive Shapiro does in the community. So today my topic is Lean Into Leadership. It's a shameless play on the title of Sheryl Sandberg's seminal book, Lean In, Women, Work, and the Will to Lead. If you haven't already read it, I highly recommend reading her book. And really, when we think about leadership and leaning in, one need go no further than this organization, ATHENA of Akron, to witness leaning into leadership in person and in the people we work with every day. It really starts with the organization's name, Athena. We know Athena was the Greek goddess of wisdom, but I actually didn't know until I researched her again that she's also the Greek goddess of war. And you know, when you think about it, wisdom and war, so she is the archetype of wise warrior. And that's so reflective in the principles of the Athena organization: to act courageously, speak the truth, test relationships, and confront traditional thinking. Athena's embrace the need for change, and really understand that risks that go with change. And we stand up for that. Leaders are daring and leaders challenge. So the purpose of today's event is to celebrate daring leaders and wise warriors. And we will witness that with each honored leader in her story. And we heard that with our young leaders. This organization is defined by daring leaders and wise warriors. Look at the board of directors, the host committee, previous leadership award program recipients. They read like a who's who of Akron leaders. And I don't want to drop names, but let me throw out a couple. Norma Rist, Traci Buckner, Jennifer Savitsky, Teresa Carter, Marie Covington, Linda Amobian, Laura Culp, Jackie Silas Butler, Lori Zuckerman, and so many more. You get the picture. I can tell you from personal experience with these leaders, some of it going back more than 30 years, that each is authentic, courageous, approachable, wise, and forthright. They support and they challenge us. I've had the benefit from knowing them, working with them, and having their support, guidance, mentorship, and challenge. I already talked about Eileen, and I could talk about so many more of these great ATHENA members. And I would venture to guess that all of you could do the very same thing. Some of you may know that Akron's ATHENA leaders are also leaders of ATHENA International, which I think is really inspirational and speaks to the leadership of these Athenans of Akron. But let me again remind that Norma Rist is on the national board. Eileen, Marie, Lori, Catherine Michael, Judith Lancaster, and let's not forget George Lemon, who are members of the ATHENA International Board. And that reminds us that men are so important to supporting ATHENA principles. So let me take a moment to share how I've tried to channel my inner ATHENA throughout my life and throughout the life of my profession and people around me. First of all, I believe deeply in sisterhood. I come from a family of four girls and a son raised by first-generation Americans. Both of my parents taught us the power of independence and the power of being strong. And again, I'm really proud to say that my husband and my sons embrace the power of people working together, men and women. And finally, I see the future as bright for young Athenas as I look at my 3 baby granddaughters and envision the future. But again, back to strong, confident women can only be possible if we have strong, confident men. And I like to envision how we can change the world together. As we think about today, what we're facing today, managing family and career and children at home learning, it really reminds me of times I've had to channel my inner ATHENA, that wise warrior. You know, I think of years ago, I was the mother of twin 4-year-old sons, working full-time. My husband had a business in Cleveland, and I decided to start an MBA program. I was intimidated, but certainly challenged to do it so that I could move ahead in my profession. So I'll never forget going to that first class, that first day of that first class, very intimidated. And each of us was to introduce ourselves, talk a little bit about our professional and personal lives. And so I did that. You know, again, working professional, mother of very small children, husband with a business in Cleveland. And the woman next to me leaned over and said, "Get out while you can." And I actually thought about that. I thought she's probably right. This is really huge. But you know, that was inspiration and challenge for me. She was actually one of my Athenas. She challenged me. That fired me up. I made it through the program. I continue to use those kinds of supports and challenges to move forward. And again, that important support of men in our lives. You know, I went off to Spartanburg Community College for my first presidency, Deep South. I was the first female president, the first Yankee president of the college. And it was an interesting opportunity. My husband supported me, my son supported me, and my father, my 80-something-year-old Greek father supported me in doing that, taking that risk and that challenge. I can remember asking my son, Christopher, what do you think of this? He said, well, Mom, most people do what you're doing in their 20s, but I guess it's pretty cool. And I thought that was great inspiration for me. And there in Spartanburg, I met a true Athena, actually in South Carolina. She is Dr. Mary Thornley, president of Trident Technical College in Charleston, South Carolina. Immediately when I met Mary, I knew I liked her smarts, her style, her warmth, her confidence, and I knew I needed a mentor to navigate through a culture in the South that I really didn't know. And I also remember Mary saying to me, hey, you may not like everything I say to you, because I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. And I said, that's okay, that's what I need. She really didn't sugarcoat anything. She was a terrific mentor. She remains both my friend and my mentor. And today, in her 29th year as president of Trident Technical College, Mary is, at the age of 75, as smart, energetic, and impactful as ever. So thinking on my own career, I became president of Stark State College in 2012. At that time, we had 7 trustees, 1 woman on that board. And today we have 8 trustees with our expansion to Summit County. And we have half of our trustees currently who are women, and our chair and vice chair, including our vice chair, Karen Lefton, serve with the kind of leadership and challenge that we need. And I'm so proud of the team at Stark State, women and men working together to serve our students and our students themselves, who are wise warriors, continuing their education despite the challenges of the pandemic, in the midst of these challenges. So again, as we celebrate these Athena Award winners and finalists, it's very important to think about the leadership they demonstrate and the wise warriors that they are, and also to think about how leadership allows us not just to support, but to challenge each other so that we can make everything better for everyone. Again, congratulations to our winners, and let's celebrate.
Thank you, Para. I am certain that your inspiring comments resonate with many of those joining us this evening. In fact, I can feel many of you thinking about Para's call to action. In what ways will you lean into leadership that perhaps you haven't explored before? Para, having you, a pillar in our community whose leadership has impacted students, staff, faculty, and women who have demonstrated impressive dedication in their field, means a great deal. Thank you again. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching an exciting moment this evening. Are you ready to meet our Athena Leadership Award finalists? Let the presentation begin.
I'm Christine Amer Mayer, and I'm the president of GAR Foundation. It's great to have goals, it's great to have plans, and it's even more important to roll with it when everything gets disrupted. Working virtually this year has definitely made me realize how much I count on face-to-face interaction with people. I do really rely on just that little check-in and seeing not only what's going on with the work, but what's going on with people's lives. So I've had to be really intentional to make ways to still do that now. A number of years ago, I had a very tough time with some medical issues in my family, and for the first time, I really advocated for myself that I needed to step out, and I was terrified to do that because you assume the whole world's gonna crumble, and I quickly learned that it actually is my number one job to make sure that I'm taking care of myself and showing up in the best way I possibly can. And it's not some great self-sacrifice to not do that. It's actually poor leadership to not do that.
Christine Amer Mayer. While being the youngest of 10 children in her family, she's no stranger to being the first in her professional life, leading a path for other women to aspire to achieve high goals. She is the first female president of the GAR Foundation, where she has been for more than 18 years, becoming a critical partner to many organizations in Akron and the region. Christine was one of the first female litigators in the business practice group at Buckingham, Doolittle, and Burroughs Law Firm, where she practiced law before joining the foundation. She serves as a trustee for the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, for which she is one of only 2 Akron representatives. She was instrumental in the creation of Arts Now, serving as its first board vice chair. A trusted colleague to Mayor Horrigan, she is helping to steer the development of the Elevate Greater Akron Regional Development Plan. Christine has been an inspiration to women staff and is known for fearlessly plunging into work that others might see as overwhelming. Christine flawlessly handles the pressures of the job with optimism, a kind demeanor, and a servant's heart. Please join me in welcoming and congratulating Christine Amer Mayer. Sandra Reid, Vice President, Corporate Communications and Strategic Planning, the Davy Tree Expert Company, is passionate about community philanthropy and believes everyone can and should make a difference. She broke ground for future female leaders when she was nominated to serve on Davy Tree's President Council. She would rather jump in with both feet instead of shying away from challenges. And she's known for engaging others to rally around a cause and fulfill important needs in the community. Her mantra of jumping in with both feet is most evident in her service and leadership with the Summit and Portage County chapter of the American Heart Association, where she serves as chairman-elect, as well as a member for the Go Red for Women executive leadership team. It's not every day that a marketing and public relations professional by trade is a fierce advocate of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics for women. However, Sandy's passion for empowering women and girls is evident, having recently been recognized as one of the Girl Scouts of Northeast Ohio's Women of Distinction honorees.
Sandy Reid. I'm the Vice President of Corporate Communications and Strategic Planning for the Davy Tree Expert Company. Early in my career, I thought it was important to learn and listen. And so I spent time networking with professional organizations so that I could learn things to share. Prove yourself by being willing to do the hard work. And if you take care of the little things and you work collaboratively, then that really is the best way for you to build alliances in an organization or in anything that you're doing. And then as I moved into the next phase of my career, I was more focused around being able to apply things and stepping forward when the opportunity came to you, instead of sitting back wanting somebody to bring it to you. And now I have the benefit of working with a leader who is very interested in my counsel. And so my job is to give candid feedback to help move the organization forward. You know, as you move forward through life, you move through different stages that tie back to making a place for yourself and then also giving back and helping others make a place for themselves.
Please join me in congratulating Sandra Reid. Our final finalist this evening is Judge Annalisa Stubbs Williams, Akron Municipal Court Judge. Williams exudes excellence, creativity, and initiative. She does not take her role as a judge lightly and her dedication to leading the Akron Municipal Mental Health Court and the Peace of Mind Probation Program, which she created in 2015, is inspiring. Judge Williams' work and community activities reflect her dedication and commitment to serving the needs of the community, as well as women leaders. She has been active with the Akron Bar Association, serving as a past elected trustee. She serves on the Project Grad Board of Directors and the Minerva Fund of the Akron Board of Directors. She is an active volunteer with the Akron-based Food Pantry, Sarah's House, and the Akron Canton Barristers Association. She has been appointed by the Ohio Supreme Court as a member of the Commission on Specialized Dockets and a member of the Judicial College. She is an innate leader who is well-respected, smart, kind, generous, and trustworthy. Please join me in congratulating Judge Annalisa Stubbs Williams. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are just moments away from presenting tonight's ATHENA Award recipients. But before that, you are in for a special treat with a musical tribute to tonight's honorees. Soprano Kishna Davis Fowler has won wide critical and audience acclaim throughout the United States and Europe for her deeply intimate artistry, commanding vocal ability and versatile stage presence. Currently, a Kent State vocal faculty member, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kishna, accompanied by the talented Bernadette Sally on the piano.
Congratulations to our 2020 ATHENA Award recipients. You are so beautiful to us, and we will all continue to climb every mountain. You are so beautiful to me. You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? Everything we've longed for, you're everything we'll ever need. You are so beautiful to me. Climb every mountain, search high and low, follow every byway, every path you know. We will climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, till we find our dream, a dream that we need. Oh, the life you can give every day of your life, for as long as you live. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, till you find your Congratulations.
Thank you, Kishna, for that amazing musical tribute to tonight's honorees. Now, it is with great pleasure that I invite Grace Wakolchik, Akron Children's Hospital President and CEO, and also recipient of the 2019 ATHENA Akron Leadership Award, with a special message to tonight's honorees.
It was truly an honor to be recipient of the 2019 ATHENA Akron Leadership Award. I recall how special the evening was, being surrounded by family, friends, and colleagues who support me and the work I do at the hospital, serving the needs of our community with an open door and treating all children as if they were our own. To this year's recipients, you are now in a unique class of women. I'd like to take a moment to extend a warm welcome to the prior recipients from 2003 through 2019. Norma J. Rist, Carol A. Cartwright, Deborah Adams Simmons, Cynthia Capers, S. Teresa Carter, Eileen Shapiro, Jacqueline Silas Butler Esquire, Daisy L. Alfred Smith, PhD, Eleanor Marsh Stormer, Candace Campbell Jackson, Diane R. Newman, Lori Zuckerman, Terry Heckman, Judith Barnes Lancaster, Sylvia Trundle, Sherry Newbert, Traci Buckner, and to the 2020 honorees, I commend you for putting in the work to get to the point where you are highly revered by your peers, mentees, friends, and family as a leader within our community. Your efforts do not go unnoticed. This evening, two phenomenal women will be highlighted for their achievements as special individuals, one whose career has been in the world of education, and the other whose career has been in the healthcare field. Both fields which happen to be very much in the forefront today. Let's hear a little about them now.
Jolene Lane, a seasoned educator, has been Vice President for Inclusion and Equity, Chief Diversity Officer, and Title IX Coordinator at the University of Akron. She's held roles such as the founding principal of Leadership Public Schools in San Francisco, Executive Director at Leadership Enterprise for a Diverse America, and Director of Resource Development for a Community Development Corporation in Boston, Massachusetts. She has built a career on mentoring aspiring women leaders at every stage of their trajectory, helping those who are underprivileged and underrepresented matriculate into Ivy League colleges. She has spread the spirit and traditions of learning, loving, and living to young women for whom these themes might have been otherwise absent. She has solidified empowering women as a priority, whether it's through time, talent, or treasure. Let's take a look at Jolene's video.
Some of my most adventurous ideas have been the ways in which I have helped young people to learn and grow. And I think that the things that they learn through their experiences help them to be courageous as well. It's also important for them to give back, both in terms of mentoring others who come behind them and through philanthropy. The disproportionate impact on communities of color of COVID-19 has made all of us think clearly about where things might be changing in our society. The changes that we see has led to things like the declaration of racism as a public health crisis, and we're dealing with that in tandem with the COVID pandemic as well. One of the major changes was that many individuals were at home because of the pandemic, and they were watching tragedies unfold before their eyes, whereas communities that were most impacted were aware of those things all along. And I think that this has made some communities and populations more aware of the privilege they have, where they do not have to think about those things on a regular basis. There are many people who truly do want to work with and support the concerns of the communities of color, of African Americans, of anyone who is in many ways not privy to the same privileges that they might be. And I think that that an awakening to a lot of those privileges has put a real stamp on one of the positive impacts of this year. I try to focus on the positive things, on what I'm learning from the circumstances and how I can proceed and grow, and not let negativity or things that might steal your joy to take a seat in the foreground.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the 2019 Athena Award recipient, Jolene Lane.
Good evening. I am honored and humbled to receive the 2020 ATHENA Akron Leadership Award. I was welcomed into the Athena Circle just 1 week after I arrived in Akron in April 2017. I was invited to participate in the ceremony honoring women new to leadership positions. I was heartened and impressed to see all of the wonderful things that Athena was doing, impressed by their leadership, the leadership role of the organization, and all of the salient issues for women that are covered by the organization. And then there's Watunga and their initiatives to get more women in the C-suite and in boardrooms. That is the beauty of Akron, and that is what makes this honor all the more fabulous. I have so much gratitude to so many. I first want to honor my mother. We lost her just 3 weeks before I relocated to Akron, and she taught me the art and science of perseverance. My mother and my grandmother modeled how to overcome any trials and tribulations I might face. I have always seen their strength and grace as the litmus test against which I measure myself. My great-grandmother was born just 2 years and 41 days after the Emancipation Proclamation, which makes me barely the 4th generation out of slavery in the United States. That makes this honor so welcome and so treasured for me and my family. I also want to thank these 4 mothers and all other women who have supported me personally and supported my career success. I also want to thank my family, my mentors and my mentees, and my friends, all of whom have bolstered and loved me through it all. You know who you are because you're watching this, and I love you. I thank God who has seen me to all the wonders of my life and through all the wonders of my life. Last, but emphatically not least, I want to thank King Louis, one of the aforementioned wonders, for his enduring love and support, the majestic man who formally established my title as queen. Thank you very, very much for this prestigious honor.
And now for our final award recipient of the evening. Donna Skoda is the Summit County Health Commissioner and has demonstrated excellence, creativity, and initiative in her profession by participating in the National Prescription Opiate Litigation as a lead plaintiff, submitting days of depositions with countless hours of preparation and discovery. Donna's leadership most recently propelled the health district and led Summit County to receive more than $104 million in settlement monies. These monies will go towards programs that help abate the opioid epidemic. Donna understands the value that female leadership brings to an organization and has hired, promoted, and provided opportunities for women in her agency. In the most difficult times for our community, Donna has never stopped answering the call, both literally and figuratively. She steps forward at every opportunity to be a calm voice and composed leader. Summit County is a better and healthier place to live because of Donna. Let's take a look at Donna's video.
I have a favorite saying I keep in my head all the time. It's called go to the breath. And so when I'm feeling anxious, I breathe deeply. I meditate every day, and I try to get time alone every day because I think it's important that you're able to think and be comfortable being with yourself. And I've also been beating literally the drums at work to make sure that people take off time, that we get rest, that we try to do little things for each other to hopefully help folks get through a crisis. But you have to take care of yourself. And I do think if you don't try, and even if you fail, it's better than never ever having tried. I think that's what you can never be afraid of. Failure is part of life. Disappointment is part of life. Hard times are part of life. And I think once you can get beyond that I have to be perfect, it has to work a certain way all the time, you really do feel a lot more comfortable taking those risks. I have told many of individuals that I've worked with, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not learning. I think once you become complacent and you become comfortable, I think you sort of take a different approach. I think having that self-doubt, having that ability to be uncomfortable is in fact a state of being a leader. Because I feel strongly that you have to doubt what you're doing. You have to make sure that what you're doing is best for everyone that it can be. And so I think feeling uncomfortable is really a feeling you better get used to. Because once you're comfortable, I don't know how effective you are.
If there's anything else you want to add or say.
Wear a mask.
I like that.
Wear a mask, stay 6 feet from people.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the 2020 Athena Award recipient, Donna Skoda.
Good evening. Thank you kindly for this very honorable award. I would also like to thank County Executive Eileen Shapiro and Terry Burns and others for nominating me for this honorable award. I also would like to say how pleased I am to be sharing this with Jolene Lane. I can think of no better person. I also would like to, at this time, congratulate all of the other honorees and those finalists, because it was an honor just to even be nominated. At this time, I just want to take a minute to reflect on Athena and what it means to women. I think I came up through a system where I started out in public health. I've stayed in public health. I've always worked for government. And I have to tell you, I'm not so sure it was always paid attention to who would be the next generation of leaders. I feel as though we have been very fortunate at the health department that I have been able to bring behind me and with me women who have risen to the ranks of management. At the district right now, we have approximately 70% of our upper management that are women. And I'm hoping to bring the rest along as well. Now, what I would like to say to each and every one of us is we can never stop doing this. Bringing together women leaders for the future should be a priority for all of us, no matter how difficult the road may be. And I don't think I have to tell any of you how difficult this year has been. We have had a pandemic, we have had forest fires, we have had a presidential election, we have had hurricanes. I'm not sure else what lies ahead, but one thing for sure, women are up to the challenge, and we should continue to make sure that happens. When I was a little kid, my mother always used to tell me that if you want to be successful in life, you have to be the kindness the blind can see and the deaf can hear. So I think we need to think of that every time we have a younger woman in our presence, someone we can mentor, someone we can take to the next level, because it will make a huge difference for the world we live in. Thank you again very much. I am honored.
Congratulations to Donna and to all of tonight's stellar recipients. In light of the year that we have all been experiencing, it is indeed a joy to celebrate these amazing leaders with you this evening. Thank you for allowing me to be your Mistress of Ceremonies. It has been my honor. Before we close this evening, please join me in welcoming ATHENA Akron's founder and past Leadership Award recipient from both ATHENA Akron and ATHENA International, Norma Rist, for some closing remarks.
Hello, I'm Norma Rist, one of the founders of ATHENA Akron. Thank you for joining us at the ATHENA Leadership Award virtual celebration, and also for sharing your support for our recipients and finalist honorees. Congratulations to all the recipients and finalists who now join others who have received ATHENA Leadership Awards around the world. The number of recipients, which by the way, is captured by the numbering on the bronze sculptures. They're produced and shipped globally, and that number now exceeds 8,000. Thank you to Martha Mertz, who created this international award in Lansing, Michigan, almost 3 decades ago. We invite you to upcoming programming, always available on athenaakron.org. ATHENA Akron holds the annual license for this Leadership Award event, as well as the ATHENA Women's Leadership Day Lunch. And in conjunction with the University of Akron Research Foundation, we also hold the lifetime license for ATHENA PowerLink, a board of advisors for a woman owner for 1 year. And now the ATHENA affiliate license, dual membership with ATHENA International. We welcome you to join us. Many of you know that I like to provide a challenge. Today, this is my challenge. I ask you to intentionally seek opportunities to support our emerging women leaders. Think about a student or a young person who just needs a few words of encouragement or a career resource to move along their way. Make it a little bit easier for them. Support them. These young leaders will make a difference in their family, in their work, and in their community, and we will benefit from their ongoing leadership. To all the sponsors who are with us today, thank you again. Your support was essential for this event. And to the recipients watching today, we look forward to photographs with our new recipients sometime in 2021. I would particularly like to thank 3 women who helped to start ATHENA Akron just 5 years ago: Chris Brown, Laura Wallerstein, and Laura King. Thank you for sharing the vision for a new organization and your work to make it happen. Thank you to the current and past board members and to our event co-chairs, Traci Buckner and Stacy Zaransky. You are amazing. To everyone, thank you for sharing this event, and we certainly look forward to seeing you again next year. Bye now.